Okay. Yep, there we go. There we go. There we go. Make sure I'm on. Make sure I'm on stream everywhere. Well, I'm assuming we live everywhere right now. I'm assuming we live. Good morning. Good morning. This is the F&E podcast. This is your host, Achille Page. You know what I'm saying? This is season 2, episode 2. And today we're gonna go over this big, beautiful tax bill. It's been a lot of changes to the tax brackets, to the tax laws. Um, the IRS direct file program is no longer e-filing tax returns. So let's get into it. Let's get into it and break everything down. See what's going on. Um I took a hiatus last week because, of course, if you haven't seen, I did just graduate this past weekend, so I was getting everything in order for graduation and things of that such. So that's why we didn't have a show last week. But this week, I promise we about to go ahead and get y'all informed on everything that y'all missed, plus more. Now, I do see we got a couple viewers now. Okay, all right. So now, as everybody know, with Donald Trump in office, he did pass a big bill, really important to individuals, married couples, um, people in certain tax brackets, like it's just a whole bunch of new things. This man started up a new tax bracket. Started up a new tax bracket. Hey, I can make a song out of that, y'all. Y'all know that I can make a song out of taxes if y'all wanted me to. He just is a new tax bracket. He just is a new tax bracket. Um, let's get into it. Let's talk about tax inflation adjustments. Okay. Um, so I'm sorry, yeah, that's the ring camera. Every time I hit the ring camera, I might look back. But so for tax inflation adjustments, the standard deduction increases. Okay, from last year it was $15,750 for single filers. This year it is now $16,100 for single filers. What that means is the more you make, the better. The higher the deduction, the more money you are able to claim. Okay. So, and remember, the only way you're able to claim these deductions, most people, if you have an LLC, um, if you DoorDash, if you if it's basically if you're self-employed, if you're self-employed and you receive a 1099, then you'll be able to claim these deductions to get your money back from the standard deduction. Hmm. Last year for married couples that filed jointly, the standard deduction was $31,500. This year is $32,200. May not seem like a significant jump, but it does mean something. For head of households, last year was $23,625. This year is $24,150. So basically, just going over the standard deduction. If you worked a W-2 job, basically what that means is they'll be deducting a higher, they'll be taxing you higher. Okay. Now, although it's higher taxes, you are able to get a higher refund. Okay. even though most people, the people that don't have LLCs and people that's not self-employed, you're gonna have to kind of find a loophole to try to get you into the positive because this year is going to be a little bit different. Um, the marginal tax rates for 2026 is 37% for any income over $640,600. 35% for income over $256,225. 32% for income over $201,775. 24%. Now this is kind of where um, many of my clients fall into. You fall into the 24% and below bracket. Okay. Now the 24% is income over $105,700 or $211,400. Okay, so if you're in between there, you're the 24%. 22% is income over $50,400 up to $100,800. Okay, that's where many of my single filers file at. Many of my clients in the single headed household or single is in that 22%. So now you are no longer that 24%. Last year, y'all was 24%. Now you drop down the tax bracket and you're now 22%. So 12% is income over 12,400 to $24,800, and 10% uh your 10% marginal rate for any income up to 12,400. Okay, so um many of my files is in that 22% bracket, which is good because last year um they had y'all in a higher tax bracket, what helped which helped y'all get a decent refund. Being that y'all just drop the tax bracket, you'll be able to get a higher refund because you're no longer expected to be making as much as you was expected to make. Um, the alternative minimum tax exemptions amount for tax year 2026, $90,100 for single filers, 140,200 for married couples filing jointly. E-state taxes exclusions is basic exclusion amount is 15 million up to 13,990,000 for 2025 descendants. Adoption credit limits for tax year. This is people who adopt children. The maximum adoption credit is now $17,670, which is higher than the limits for 17,280 for 2025. Um, up to $5,000, 120, up to $5,120 of this credit is refundable. Okay. So what that means is okay, if you adopt children, you can now get up to a $5,120 deduction. Okay. And last but not least, this is just for this is for the tax inflation. Okay. So it's employer provided child care expansion credit for 2026. The maximum amount increases from 150,000 to 500,000. The maximum increases to 600,000 if employer is eligible small business. So if you have an eligible small business, you get 600,000 for just the regular employer provided child care. You get up to 150, I mean up to 500,000 this year. Okay. Now, this is coming straight off the IRS too. I want y'all to see that our news is coming straight from the IRS. Okay, it's coming straight from the IRS. So take heed of this news. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your cousins, tell your aunts, tell your uncles. Everything is about to change this year. Okay, everything is getting ready to change. Now, well, I'm not really gonna go over the deductions for seniors. If I have any seniors, I'll probably go over those individually as I talk to them. Now, this is big. The no tax on tips. Okay. Now I know everybody want to know about this because I mean, who gets it? I mean, how does it work? You know what I'm saying? How will he incorporate this? Um, so all right, let's just read an overview of the deduction effective 2025 through 2028. Employees and self-employed individuals may deduct qualified tips they received in occupation the IRS identified as customarily and regularly receiving tips on or before December 31st, 2024, and are reported on the Form W-2, Form 1099, and any other statement furnished to the individual. Qualified tips is include voluntary cash or charge tips received from customers, including shared tips. Okay, so maximum deduction is $25,000. So you can you can claim up to 25,000 on tips. Like, so that's a good thing. Now I'm gonna tell you this: being that you're not getting no taxes taken out of your tips, you will have to pay into that 25,000. But if you are a W-2 employee and you get tips as well, then it kind of helps you out on the income side. The more income, the higher your refund. So as long as you get to include them tips into your W-2 money, then as long as you have federal withholdings this year, you'll be able to see a nice refund. Um, so for self-employed individuals, deduction cannot exceed net income. So the 25,000 cannot be more than you made throughout the whole year. Um, the people who qualify, individuals who have a social security numbers, claimed itemized or non-itemized deduction. Who doesn't qualify? Self-employed in a specific service, trade, or business under Section 199A, employees of an employer in the SSTB. Okay, how to how to claim the deduction? Include your social security number on the return. File jointly if you're married. So that that is important. That's important right there because you will not qualify for this deduction if you are married and you're filing separate. Okay. So if you're married and file separate, you will not be able to claim the no tax on tips. You'll be paying tax on tips. Okay. Um, requirements: employers and other payouts must report certain cash tips and off in the occupation of the tip recipient on IRS information returns. Treasury and IRS will provide penalty relief for taxpayer year 2025. Okay. So we also have the no tax on overtime as well. Okay. I went through this in the middle of the show. So we have the no tax on overtime. Okay. Now it says effective 2025 through 2028 as well. Individuals may deduct the portion of qualified overtime pay that exceeds their regular rate of pay. Okay, so overtime must be reported on Form W-2, Form 1099, any other statement furnished to the individual or directly by the individual. Maximum annual deduction is 12,500, 25,000 for joint filers. Phases out for taxpayers with modified adjusted gross income over $150,000. Okay, who qualifies? Taxpayers who have a Social Security number, claimed itemized or non-itemized deductions. How to claim the deduction? Include your Social Security number on the return. File jointly if you're married. Again, this is another thing, another key thing. You have to file jointly to for the no tax on overtime as well. So if you're married and you're thinking about filing separate this year, you might want to think twice, especially if you do work overtime and you put in them hours. You like it's time to start thinking, hey, I might need to talk to my spouse. I might need to have this conversation with my spouse on financial on our finances. I don't know how many people in their household have that conversation with their significant other about their financial gains and their financial resources and their financial plans. But if you are not big on that, this year would be a good year to start talking about it to your spouse. I know people like to keep stuff like that private, which is cool. It's 2025, about to be 2026. A lot of your information is public. People who really can go look up your net worth. People go look up where you work. You know what I'm saying? So if people go look up where you work, they could pretty much go look up and see how much that company worth, how much they pay their employees. So I mean, all in all, it's good. It is good to stay private and be a private person, but just know that the information that you are trying to keep private is really public. People really can go look this stuff up and find that stuff up about you. Um, um, says no tax on car loan interest. Really, if you was getting taxed on car loan interest, you was really doing it wrong from the beginning. So, um, not really gonna go over that one. Not gonna go over that one. Adoption credit enhancement beginning tax years after December 31st, 2024, up to $5,000 of the adoption credit may be refundable. Any credit amount carried forward from prior years cannot be used to calculate the refundable portion. So they basically just saying, that the adoption credit, your the refundable part of the credit did increase. Now businesses, your passenger vehicle loan, interest transfer transition relief for 2025 did change, and your employee retention credit limitation did raise as well. Investment in community development. Um, a lot of my clients not really into construction. They don't really be building things and stuff like that. Um, so I'm not too sure if I should go over rural opportunity zones, clean energy. We all know for solar panels, for um, electric vehicles. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I don't know why I couldn't just think of that. But for electric vehicles, solar panels, you do get credit. You know, once you start the credit, I think it kind of depreciates annually. So pretty sure when you go in there and file your taxes again, your energy credit be in there for the people who own solar panels and for the people who own electric vehicles. Um, that Indians have a tax exempt. It says Indian tribal government and the adoption credit. Let's see what this is. Okay, so Indian tribes who have children with special needs for the adoption tax credit provides parity with states government by giving tribal governments the same ability to determine whether a child has special needs for purposes of the adoption tax credit. 1% excise tax. So, hmm. And y'all, we just went over the big, beautiful tax bill. So, all that discussion and all that hoot and hollering we had going on for the last month, last 2 3 months. That's all that's really done happened inside the tax bill. Um, it won't too much that he really could do, being that the year before we just had, well, the year before last, we just had uh Biden signed tax laws too. So being that he had signed tax laws, those laws had taken effect and they stay in effect until the law is over. Um, until the bill is over. Just like Trump here, for example, it says up until 2028. As we know, in 2028, I think that's when our next election is, if I'm not mistaken. I think our next election is in 2028. So these tax laws that are being made, you know, it's good to stay up with them. It's good to stay in the know about them as well. It's not always good to panic about them because sometimes they change for the better. Okay, especially if you have people who know what they're doing. A lot of people don't have people who know what they're doing. So what happens is when they go file their taxes, is they'll get a return and they're not satisfied with the return. But this is what accountants are for: tax preparers. Okay, these what these people are for. If you know somebody who went to school for tax preparation or went to school for um who went to school for tax preparation or went to school for accounting, then you might need to get to know them because they might know a little bit of something, just a little bit. Okay, might help you get some money back. Might start your year off better. I don't know anybody in the world that don't want to start the year off with a little bit of extra dollars in their pocket. So if you're one of them people who file taxes by themselves, this might be a good year to start looking into a tax company. And if you're looking into any tax company, it should be AP Max Tax Service. Okay, you can Google it, uh, look it up anywhere. It's going to pop up. We out there now, so if you look us up, I would highly advise y'all to get in contact with me. Okay, because this year you can make a lot of money. You could walk away with a lot of money, or you could walk away with nothing. I mean, you know, the choice never hurts me. It never hurts me on what you decide to do. But okay, we got some. It says, "What's the difference in a regular W-2 and a 1099 filing this upcoming year?" So the difference is this year, the W-2 filers, your W-2 filers will receive a bigger. They will receive a bigger refund. Um, The child tax credit also went up as well. So if you have children, you got to factor that in. It just depends on your income. If you're making a good amount of money, that 22%. If you win that 22%, the 50,000 and above, you're gonna have a good refund this year. You're gonna have a nice refund this year. If you have children along with that 50,000 and above, you're gonna have a amazing refund this year. My 1099 filers. My 1099 filers, you might be looking at what no children. I'm just gonna rough estimate about $2,000 on a regular. With that's just because 1099s, if you don't have and many, which many don't have federal withholdings taken out of their income, then you're going to pretty much be battling to get a refund and breaking even. Now, my W-2 people, please, I hope you did not go tax exempt this year. I hope y'all did not go tax exempt this year. I hope y'all did not go tax exempt this year because you're going to be paying a little bit more, especially if you don't have the deductions to carry up the income that you have. So, I mean, ultimately, ultimately, and this is why I tell everybody, I tell all my clients this every year for the past 3 years, please get out of that tax exempt. Do not go tax exempt. Even if you're a 1099 filer, your 1099 filers can get federal withholdings taken out of your income. They just choose. I mean, people just they don't ask their employer. Many people many people just be living and going with the flow. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, but ultimately you want to set yourself up for success. Like, I mean, other people do it, you know what I'm saying? So I want everybody around me to do it. Now, I do have another question. The year tax, what's this year child tax credit total? Now, I believe it raised $500 from last year, but I might be mistaken. So I'm gonna go check this too. Let's go check this out. Okay, so for the child tax credit 2026, your maximum credit is 2200. I apologize, y'all, but do not get that happy. Okay, it's not 22,000, it's 2200. $2,200 per qualifying child. Refundability up to 1,700 is refundable. Okay, if your earned income is over 2,500, up to $1,700 is refundable. Okay, so your children this year. So if you're looking at, let me see something. If you're looking at two children, you're looking at $3,400. If you're looking at three children, 5,100. $5,100. Income phases out. The credit becomes decreased after single filers earn over 200,000 and married couples earned over 400,000. Okay, and for the eligibility, your child must be under 17 at the end of the tax year and meet the support test, and they must also have a valid social security number. So this year is up. I was right too, y'all. This year is up $500. Last year it was 1,200. This year is now 1,700. So the child tax credit did raise $500. It should raise $500 again next year as well, and that's the last time it should raise under under the Democrat bill that was passed two years ago. So uh the people who have children, with the W-2 income, you, like I said, if you add 5,100 on top of whatever your federal withholdings is on your W-2s, you can kind of estimate where your refund should be around. Not gonna say you can really guess the direct amount, but you should be able to tell just about um, how much you'll be able to get on your refund this year. Uh, Now, my married people, again, it's important for y'all to have that conversation because I know if you file separate, some people try to claim the children, which which is really bad, which is a bad thing anyway because you're both hurting each other by not being able to claim the credits that's available. You know what I'm saying? When you marry and you file separate, you're not able to really get all the deductions and credits that single filers get, had a household get, and married file jointly get. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of your returns look different because you know although you want to be independent on the finance side, it kind of hurts, and the system is set up that way to to bring people together ultimately, but it's also to keep track of income a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? So um just sit down and have that conversation. Have that conversation with your other and just, get where their mind is at on finance and see if you can, come to a compromise or a conclusion or something. Because ultimately what I'm gonna do is when I had that conversation with, my clients and they start to talk about, well, they want to do married file separately, I'm gonna have to let them know, like, you're really hurting yourself in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Like this year, you're gonna be disappointed because your refund not gonna look the same as everybody else's. And when you go to somebody else and they tell you, "Oh, I got this much back," you're gonna think that it was my fault. And ultimately, it's not my fault because I'm communicating to you right now, and I have communicated to you before that it's important to file jointly and not separately because that reason right there, uh, you know, because that reason right there. So this year, it will be a lot of conversations had. This year, I will be signing everybody's tax return. I know my past years, I was just preparing them, but this year I will be preparing them, and I will be putting my tax preparer ID on them as well. So, with that being said, there will be no fraudulent returns. If you do not have the receipts, you cannot claim the deduction, which means your return probably won't be as high as they used to be. But this is security for me. This is ethical for me. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, you know what I'm saying, if you want to go the unethical route, you choose somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But if you do have all your documentation, all your requirements, and you can claim these deductions, and you do have transactions that prove that you are spending this money, then your refund will look the same as it has been looking. Um, a lot of people, what was happening was a lot of people was getting audited by the state, and when you get audited by the state, it's not a federal audit, so it's not the same thing. But when you get audited by the state, your state return kind of get held up, and if you don't have the documentation for that state return, what happens is you'll end up owing. Like they'll end up making you pay inside the state, or you probably won't pay nothing, or your refund, your state refund, probably reduced to something lower that it wasn't. So this year, this is the verbal communication right here. I'm verbally communicating right here, right now. If you do not have the transactions, if you do not have the receipts, if you do not have the requirements, your refund will not look as high as it did before because I am signing everybody's return with my tax preparer ID. And if I need to correct something, I need to correct something that has been either a mistake or something I missed, not nothing fraudulent. I won't be filing no fraudulent returns. I won't be helping people that need the excruciating help. You got to have these things. You have to have these things. Now, this is me verbally saying this, okay? So if you proceed to want to do it, that's on you. Just know you're liable. I'm not gonna say I won't do it. You're liable at that point, and I won't sign it. You know what I'm saying? So you'll probably have to deal with that on your own. But that's for all my clients, just letting them know ahead of time. Um, Also, we might be doing a little bit of a change. What it is ultimately is a change. I have a few changes that's coming up next month, but I will be sending documents out this month to all my clients. If you plan on returning, I do need the document signed and sent back. If I don't get them back, I probably know that you probably won't be returning, which is fine. Um, but I do need them documents back as well because you know documentation is key to everything. Your boy is trying to be bigger than H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, TurboTax, all of them. Trying to be bigger than all of them. So ultimately, and I told y'all this, year by year, things is going to start cleaning up. We're going to start cleaning up things. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going to start looking a little bit more professional. You know what I'm saying? And when you first starting off and you start building your own business, you really don't. There is no set way or there is no correct way of directly running a business. You have to kind of it kind of it's kind of a walk by faith thing because when you open your business, you don't really know how many customers you're going to have. You don't know the cash flow that you're going to generate. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of just you're forecasting um financial gain. Okay. So for my business owners, and I encourage everybody to start a business because you never know what you can create out of it. Okay. When I first started my tax service, I never thought I would be servicing over 100 people. I'm 4 years in now, 5 years in now. I service over 150 people. Okay. So, you know, um, when I first started my lawn care business, I really didn't think nobody would actually want their lawn done. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really think I would be able to get clientele for, lawn care. I actually, when I was inside the service, I actually did do a little bit of yards. I actually did pressure wash as well. So you never know what happened when you start your own. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen on Facebook somebody start their own bakery and they sold their first batch of cookies. They were so excited. They were so excited. I mean, excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, it was a joy because although the cookies was only $20, like she believed in herself. You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm thinking, in my head, I was saying kudos, congrats. I didn't congratulate them on the actual status, but I did congratulate them in like in my own person, because seeing things like that does make me happy, because it lets me know that other people do believe as well. They can believe as well. Um, you have to find your niche. You got to find your niche. You know what I'm saying? Like, took me till I was 27 to find mine. You know what I'm saying? It has no time limit. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you working and trying to figure out the next step, you'll find your niche in life. You know what I'm saying? You'll find it. Ain't nobody gonna be able to hold you back once you find it either. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have things around you that's holding you back from becoming that person. Sometimes you have to kind of like fight them things off and sacrifice them. You know what I'm saying? Not, you don't gotta desert them. You don't gotta like get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, I see that you don't have, or what's around me is what's what's around me is not of my best interest right now. Start putting things around you that have your best interest. You know what I'm saying? Because then you'll start to develop a niche and find your own niche. You know what I'm saying? Uh, your boy is a bachelor, so I feel like I got a little bit of knowledge I can spread on to people now. You know what I'm saying? It took me a little minute to soak that in. You know what I'm saying? I've been had graduated over the summer, but now it's just all recollecting now. And I need to get this out there to my business owners, because ultimately my business owners that do work regular jobs is my people that have the highest returns. And for y'all, I want y'all to, go beyond. And that's crazy, because that's actually our alma. That's my alma mater motto, is go beyond. So um I want all y'all to go beyond, like beyond the limits that life has set for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe it or not, people do try to put a cap on us. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, this person won't make it this far, this person won't make it that far, this person won't do this person will never end up doing this. But you'll never know what a person will end up doing, because you know, as you grow, um, life changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you change. The things that you want change. Um, the people around you change. You know what I'm saying? So I never met anything that stayed the same. Every time I look at a quarter, it looks different. I don't know about y'all, but some quarters may look the same to some people, but every quarter looks different to me. Um, but yeah, start your own. Start your own. Still, and it's crazy because, listen, still do what you're doing. Don't just stop what you're doing and start your own, because you feel like that's what I told you to do, or that's what life told you. Nah, that ain't. Do it like this. Continue to work your W-2 jobs, the federal income, the government jobs that y'all work, the people that take care of the bills. You know what I'm saying? Continue to do that. Okay. So open up, and I challenge everybody. I'm challenging everybody. This is everybody. Everybody that works a W-2 job. I'm gonna keep saying this. Everybody that works a W-2 job, I challenge y'all to open up your own business. Whether it's an LLC, whether it's a partnership, whether it's an S corp, whether it's a C corp, whether it's a nonprofit. It can be a nonprofit. Okay, become an independent contractor. An independent contractor is basically somebody that sells their own services to a company, so the company can use their services through their company, basically. Okay, I challenge y'all. I'm challenging every W-2 employee to do this. Okay, because what this does is This sets you up for the next level in life. You ever wonder how your CEO got to where he's at? I can put you in this position. I want to help put you in this position. Please, I'm challenging y'all. Open up your own LLC. Open up your own business. Open up new routes to revenue. Okay? Little do y'all know that if you open up a business and you have an EIN number and you have a business account that's been open for 2 to 3 years and you have financial statements along with this business, you get business loans, you get business grants, you get business credit. And once you start getting these three things right there, you no longer have to use your personal money. What do we all use right now? We're all using personal finance. The money that we get from these W-2 jobs, that is called personal finance. That is not called um business finance. That's personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm challenging everybody to do this, okay? Because these people that's living the way that most people want to live, this is how they got there. And nobody's going to tell you this. Nobody's going to tell you this. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's I my business, we do offer the services of the documents. If you need your financial statements, if you need bookkeeping, if you any of the documents that's needed and required for all these business loans, grants, and credits, we create. We create those. We keep up with those. We bookkeep. So it's not about having the resources, because now you now have the resources to do these things. Because if you didn't know how to do it, you do know how to do it now. Or you have somebody that do know how to do it. You could just contact them and we'll get it done. Yeah, it may cost, but I mean, hey, everything in life costs, especially if you're trying to set up yourself for the next level in life. You know what I'm saying? That saying it costs to be the boss. That is actually a real life truth. That's not just a saying. You know what I'm saying? In order to get there, you do kind of have to put in the work and pay in sometimes. You know what I'm saying? All the time things is not handed to us. You're not going to be handed that title. You're not just going to be handed that title. You have to put in the work to get to that title. Um so my challenge for everybody that that that's W-2 people, hey, for the people that's in the stocks, um open up your own stock company, like your own thing where people come to you for, stock calls and puts. You know what I'm saying? Open up that. You can open up your own business doing that. You know what I'm saying? Any money that you gain off of your own stocks, you put into that business. You know what I'm saying? You no longer have to worry about that extra income on your personal finance. You can have that on your business finance. You know what I'm saying? So these the things that ultimately, when we start filing taxes, um, and we talk about getting ahead, these are the things that are going to get you ahead. Um, Trying to think, am I missing anything? Am I missing anything? It only costs $125 to start a business, y'all. It only costs 120 in the state of North Carolina. It costs $125 for the articles of organization, and it costs $200 for your annual fees. So basically, if you want to be technical, you know what I'm saying, it costs $325 annually your first year to start your business. $200 annually after that. Just every year, just pay $200. I mean, hey, to me, paying $200 is nothing if we making 20,000 plus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need all my people. I need everybody. I need all y'all to get out there and challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Let's not make next year so easy for the government to stop us from doing the things that we want to do. Not saying the government stopped y'all, or you know what I'm saying, not saying anybody stopped y'all from doing what y'all want to do. But let's not make it as easy for struggle to reach us. Okay? Yeah, let's not make it that easy. Let's make it easy for success to reach us. You know what I'm saying? Let's start putting our children in places they ain't never been in before. You know what I'm saying? Let's start putting our family members in places they ain't been in before. Let's start putting our friends in rooms they haven't been in before and places they haven't been in before. Me, all my friends, and I'll tell you this, I'll tell y'all this, and I'm telling y'all this confidently. All my friends do reap my benefits. I don't care. They will reap them. I won't let them walk without. You know what I'm saying? 2026, I plan on helping them avoid struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's set each other up for success. And I don't know nobody that did this shit on their own. As bad. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. I don't know nobody who did life on who did life on their own. Okay. And as bad as me myself, okay, as bad as I want to say that I did it my all by myself, it's not the truth. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I'm stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Like your host is stubborn. So when I talk, I do get kind of big headed, like, yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this. But ultimately, and I promise this is the truth, ultimately, we do not do this stuff on our own. We do have people around us that supports us, that keep us going, that pushes us to be better, okay? Like, so anybody that thinks that in their head, that thinks they can do this life stuff on their own, you're gonna kind of have to show me. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, and if you did do it on your own, is you there is a cap, okay? Because there's only but so much that you're going to be able to gain by yourself. You're going to need somebody else to open the door for you to walk in. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, you can live life like that. You know what I'm saying? But again, everybody around me does and will reap the benefits that I have been awarded. Okay. Um, y'all, this has been a great show. It's been a great show. It actually felt good to be back. It felt good to be back. You know what I'm saying? The week I was going, I was kind of thinking about y'all, man. I was out there thinking like, dang, I did my podcast wrong. But I like I told y'all, you know what I'm saying? For many of y'all, if y'all did see, I did graduate this past week. So I was getting prepared for graduation. I really didn't even think I was gonna go, y'all. I really didn't think I was gonna go. I wasn't going to 10. Um, Something just told me like just go ahead and go do it. And I'm gonna tell you what this is. I'm gonna tell you what it was, right? Now, the day before, um, my mother had reminded me, she was like, "Okay, ain't your graduation this weekend?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "If I make it," you know what I'm saying? I was joking. I was like, "Yeah, haha, if I make it," because I wasn't really thinking about it, right? So that very next day, I just kind of thought about it the whole day. I said, "Dang, I really feel like going down there and walking across the stage again, like, cause I did it one time already." You know what I'm saying? So um it was the feeling of being recognized. All the BS that we go through, like in life, we kind of want the recognition sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so um And it wasn't the feeling that I wanted to be recognized. It was the feeling like I wanted to be seen through the BS. Because as we know, life throws you curveballs, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of bad comes out of it, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we able to avoid the bad, but I told myself, yeah, I'm gonna go. So I went. Good feeling, good day. You know what I'm saying? Great graduation. I'm glad I did go. Glad I did go. Appreciate the people who was out there that watched. Um, appreciate the people that supported me on the journey. Appreciate everybody that supported me on this journey right here as well. Ah, I do have something to announce to y'all. I'm glad I was talking. I'm glad I was rambling on before I was about to get off. In 2026, the F&E podcast, we will be hosting live tax shows. We will be hosting live tax shows. Okay? So go ahead and tell your friends, you know what I'm saying? We will be live this tax season. All your tax questions will be answered. Everything. Everything. It's gonna be an amazing feat to the podcast. So on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we are planning on hosting live tax shows. Okay. So that's this upcoming year. That's not right now. That's this upcoming year in 2026. When tax season start, we will be hosting them. That was the announcement that I did have to make. I completely forgot. Completely forgot. But and we have a rival that's gonna drop. And we're gonna drop something. So stay tuned. Okay, stay tuned. And this is the F&E Podcast Finance Morning Show. I appreciate everybody for joining. If you wasn't able to get the live feed, please check us out on Apple Podcasts at the F&E Podcast, at Spotify at the F&E Podcast, as well as on YouTube at the F&E Podcast. Okay. So I enjoy y'all. I appreciate y'all. Love is love. Go have that conversation. We out.